Welcome back, fellow truth seekers, to our channel. Today, we have something extraordinary in store for you. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of Andromedan contactee, Alex Collier. But before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to join our growing community. Trust us, you won't want to miss any of the mind-blowing content we have coming your way. Sit back and relax for a very special extended rapid-fire question and answer session with Alex Collier.
I'm just going to go through these as quickly as I can, okay? JP is live. JP, you there?
Yes, I'm live. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Turn up your
To
volume.
the best of your knowledge, are there any benevolent ETs working with the Q phenomenon? I don't know. I wouldn't rule anything out at this point. Let's see. Is it true that the United States has never had a human president since JFK? I have never heard that no, I have not heard anything like that before. To my knowledge, they're human. They're just compromised, and they're just compromised. Okay? Some people are confused about your Andromedan family origins. Some think ET family is from the galaxy. I have said from the get-go that they're from the constellation of Andromeda, from around the star known as Mirage. They call their star system Zenatea. Okay? At least the symbol, the hieroglyphic language that they speak, when you translate it into an English tongue, the only way it translates is into Zenatea. Someone years ago said that it was the Milky Way galaxy, that they were from the Andromedan galaxy. That's the same person that compiled information from my videotapes at that particular time and created a book and was selling it without my knowledge, or even telling me that he did it. I've talked about that a couple of times over the years. There's no point in revisiting it. Okay? So let's not go there.
Alex.
Did the Andromedans explain to you or any extraterrestrials why they haven't revealed themselves to the Earth population? We're too paranoid. We're too scared. And we're too paranoid. And the first thing we would do is probably start to worship them because they would have all this technology. We would see them as gods. Okay? And the only ones who would actually show themselves in that way would be those who they want you to worship them as gods. That's what's happened in the past. You see? And that's why they hide that shit from us. Because they don't want us to know that some of them are still here pretending to be gods, but behind the scene. Manipulating and manipulating and manipulating. Okay? The good guys aren't interested in worship. Okay? They want us to get our shit together so they don't have to babysit or fix this, so they can go home to their families and their lives, in their dimensions, in their time, in their timelines, or whatever the hell it is. You understand? They got to fix this, though. Because we find ourselves in this very unique situation where what happens here is affecting the whole. And we got to get this right. We have got to step up as a race. But first, we have to know what's been going on. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Is everybody has to step up. And they have to explain it to us so we can get it. You know, they got to get the crayons out so we can figure it out and get it. And then once we get it, we got to be able to teach it to everybody else, future generations down the road, and protect the knowledge and protect the new freedoms that we have from these revelations, you see. Let's see. I've already answered that one. Trump talked about ultraviolet light, UV, tons of information about that. on the internet. In the past interview you had about ETs, is that they will reveal themselves to a global population. Have they? Really? You missed that? Come on. Come on, guys. Was it physical? I know I'm supposed to have patience, but come on. If that were to happen and the whole world saw it, do you think no one would talk about it? Let's see. Mention Prince Charles. When I talked about that back in '96, I think it was, shortly thereafter, Diana died. Okay. Is there a 15th density? I don't know. I'm only aware of 12. Maybe it's under construction. Maybe 15's under construction. Could be. I just don't know. I think I know who this is. Let me see here. Lauren Wagner. It will just show up. Okay. I'm not looking to get myself killed or my family. I hope you can appreciate that, because none of you are going to come and stand guard at my door. That isn't going to happen. I know it, and you know it. Okay. And the New World Order isn't dead yet. Look at what they're doing around the world. They're not dead yet. They're fighting. They're going to go down fighting to the very end. Is there any connection as to why Saturn is losing its rings faster than it should with today's events? You might want to look at the idea that there are raw materials. What makes up a ring around a planet? It's dust, it's debris, it's raw materials, okay? Minerals, all kinds of things. Is it possible that there's a mining operation, that mining operations have been restarted in Saturn's rings? You know, a lot of the mining equipment is still there. It's been sitting there for thousands and thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years, some of them. And, you know, some of that machinery is thousands and thousands of miles long. Some of that machinery had androids maintaining the equipment for future use. There's a lot of things going on here, folks. A lot of things going on. And at the moment, that's all I can say about that. But that's a really good question. Okay. The truth is definitely stranger than fiction. It is. Can you tell us anything about elites, Hollywood, etc., bruised left eye? Does it have anything to do with the Eye of Horus? Man, that's so dark. I don't even want to go down that road. You know, some people call it the Eye of Horus. Others have called it the Eye of Ra. You know, just look at the energy that surrounds it. Forget the symbolism and look at the energy that surrounds that and what's coming out about these people. It's dark. Okay? It's dark. It's satanic. Hollywood took a dump a long, long time ago. And it's unfortunate that they had the ability to be such a force for good. And they fucked it all up. They screwed it all up. and went dark for power, for control. It's tragic. It's tragic. And a lot of people have suffered for it. And now we have to undo it. At George Bush's funeral, wives of previous administrations were giving white cards. There is something that's passed around that has, I have seen something that would suggest that George Bush Jr. flipped, and he was letting everyone know in the group there that he had flipped and he had told the White Hats everything. That's one of the theories. Okay, that's one of the theories. Maybe one day we'll all know for sure. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Does time really exist? That's an excellent question. Does time really exist? To us, yes, it does. To our higher selves, our souls that are multidimensional and have been in existence maybe forever, time doesn't exist the way it would to us here. It is just the movement of events in consciousness. But we're not exactly there yet. Okay, we're still discovering our own consciousness here. We're still trying to encourage people to use and exercise their own consciousness here. So I think we're probably pretty far from answering that question as a collective humanity here. But my fifth and sixth, seventh density me would have a very different answer, I'm sure. Okay. Who is Prince Charles exactly? I don't know. Are there any shape-shifting reptilians in office? Oh man, that will get me shut down in a heartbeat. I think there's some in media. I'll go that far. I love you too. Thank you. Is there any info on how we can develop our own genius? Hun, if I had that answer, I'd be a genius. Okay, I'd be a genius. Have we entered the photon? Yes, we're in the belt. That's where all the debris is coming from, and yes, we are. How do you know? Do you know anything about the backdrop people that Dolores Cannon spoke about? No, I do not. I don't know anything about that. Dolores Cannon was a remarkable person. I had the privilege of meeting with her a couple of times in the 90s when I first started to speak, and I was doing the dog and pony conferences. But, I got out of that. It was such a fiasco. I'd go and we'd do the show, and then we wouldn't get paid. Other people were saying I was going to be there and advertised me being there, and they never even asked me to do the show. And it just, there were a lot of very dishonorable people doing a lot of that. And it was all about the buck. That's all they gave a shit about. So I got out of it. And anyway, you know the rest. They keep saying the second pandemic will be worse. Butterfly of the week, okay? Listen to that first. You start there and you do your research around that information. You'll get your own answer, okay? You do not have to live in fear. And we should never allow anyone to put us in that position. Don't give your power away, okay? Don't give your power away, and don't give away anybody else's power to this horse shit, to these people, okay? The things they've done are unconscionable. Do the research. Do the research. If the new gold-backed money system will be rolling out sooner or later, will it be free? Yeah. Yeah. Obviously. Okay, what's going to be great about it is that you will be able to control your own wealth. You will have access to your own wealth no matter where you are, you see. Just allow it to evolve. It's coming. The fact that you asked that question, it's a good question, but it also tells me you haven't been doing enough research on it yourself, okay? The information's there. There is more and more of it coming out. You know, a good place for you to start would be the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury website. Look at all the new executive orders and bills that the president's been signing regarding money. Start there, okay? That'll tell you how far along this is. And I think you'll be surprised at how far along this is, and the fact that your mainstream media isn't saying a frickin' word about any of it. It's all bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Hate Trump, hate America, you know, love the deep state, love socialism. Oh, God. Yes, I have, Luca. Yes, I have. And let me just say that it's not in Morinet's hands. How do you know if you ended up calling a benevolent or a malevolent one? Well, you know what? That's a really interesting question. That's a very, very interesting question. I'm going to try to tackle that one. And I'm going to tackle that from this perspective. Okay? I know it says 0 votes, but I like the question. Most of us who truly operate from a heart space, when you operate from a heart space, you are very much in connection. You very much are connected to your higher spiritual self. That source, that connection to source has innate knowledge that it shares with you because you're connected to it regarding energy. And it will tell you if the energy is good or it's not, or if it's something you need to be careful of. Okay, traditionally, that's how many people operate. You get a sense. Now, for those who have had their hearts broken, you can't necessarily trust your heart to give you that information unless it's been healed. And you all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes healing a broken heart takes a long time. And if that's the case for you, then you have to trust your gut. You have to go to your gut, and whatever your first response is from your gut, that's where you have to go. You cannot necessarily trust your heart if it's been broken, and it is still broken. Therefore, you have to trust your gut. And that typically is your very first response. Okay? With the way that the frequency is changing, with the amazing amount of light that is being spread on the planet and in the planet, the odds of you running afoul with some negative or regressive the odds are getting smaller and smaller by the minute. Okay? But if someone is a totally negative person, they're just negative, always unhappy, always blaming others. Well, guess who that regressive is going to go to? Guess who that negative spirit's going to be drawn to? Someone just like itself. Just like itself. He could move right in, they could move right in, and no one would even know they were there. Because that person is that consciousness anyway. You don't want to be around people like that anyhow. They have a problem. It'll eventually work itself out. That energy, that attachment will be removed, with or without their consent, just by the changing of the frequency of the planet. They will be drawn out and removed from this space. But I liked that question. It gave me an opportunity to address something that I've thought about for years that I haven't been able to work into the presentation. Do you think it's possible that aliens, ETs, would be able to use black holes or the illusion of black holes as a way to disguise their cities, homes, in order to prevent other aliens from invading them? I don't know. I don't know enough about black holes. But that's a really, really great question, Elaine. I just don't know the answer to that. Do we need volunteers to help with the transcriptions? You're going to want to talk to James. Okay, James is the go-to on that. Is the Bible man-made stories or based on actual events? Both. Both. But the actual events didn't occur to those who are claiming it as their history. Do some research on that. There's a lot of information about that out there. Do you know where the Spanish language originates from? No, I do not. And my love to Sussex as well. Do animals have the ability to see into other dimensions or densities? They can definitely see spirit. They can definitely see energy here. Not only does Merlin do it, well, right now he's passed out at my feet, but Shakespeare and Zen see stuff around the house occasionally. They'll follow something, or they'll climb up on the furniture and chase something out of the corner, and that's how I know it's there. So yeah, animals do. They perceive energy differently than we do, and they're very susceptible to that, especially cats. Okay, I'm not sure about this question. Okay, I'm going to go to this next one, and then I'll come back to that one. What year time frame can we expect negative ETs to leave the planet and end all corruption? I expect that by the end of this year, I would think that all regressive non-humans are off the planet. The ending the human corruption might take years to flush out. That may be a lot longer and will have to be dealt with in a different way. Okay, good. That's a good question too. Okay, so let me go back down here. Where was I? Have you ever got the opportunity to take what you do forward with an ascended master? Well, according to Phaseus, no one's a master. Okay, and I dealt with that Well, I talked about that 24, 25, 26 years ago. Their attitude was there were no masters, because a master implies they've learned everything. They know everything. And according to Visayas and Morine, that's just simply not possible. So maybe the only master would be God, right? The generator of dimensions. That would be the only true master. The rest of us are trainees. Okay? Padawans. Jedi. Are there people without soul? Yes. Yes, there are. What human race were the Atlanteans? Atlantis was predominantly an extraterrestrial colony on Earth that was made up of many different races. I can't do medical questions because I'm not a doctor. Okay, Penny, answer the rest of the questions. I'm working it, Penny. I'm working it. Penny, can you email me at Galahad, please? So we can talk, please? Is Trump aware? Yes, he's aware. He says he isn't, but he's aware because he says he's not ready to go there. As if he's not getting enough shit as it is, right? So let me see. Where else are we here? How can we protect ourselves from satanic or negative attacks? Be light. Be happy. Be happy. Make a conscious decision. Any suggestions when talking to friends or family? Any suggestions on where to start? Whew, man. Nope. But if they give you an opening, take it. That's what I do. They give me an opening, I take it. Is Baal still around? And were Baal and Ra in cahoots? They may be the same being. Remember, different languages, different cultures had different names for essentially with the same beings that were here playing God. Okay? The experience about angels. I'm going to end on that, Elaine. I'll end with that. The Pentagon officially released UFO videos. They've been doing that a little bit here and there. Now we know for sure it's not swamp gas, right, guys? Now we know it's not swamp gas. It all wasn't swamp gas. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Let's see. We're talking reincarnation. Okay, I don't want to. Let's go back to the. Okay, someone wants me to share my angel experience. It was the winter of 2003, 2004, and I had just moved out of the house that I was living in Lafayette, and I rented a house in Louisville, and I had just lost my family. And I was doing everything I could to create the space for them to come back. And it was a really bad time. It was a really bad time. My heart was broken. I was pissed off beyond belief. And there were days I just didn't want to be here. That was a really, really hard time. I just did not want to be here. And it was my father's birthday, February 23rd. And I was just, I was just in a very bad place. And I remember going to bed as soon as I got home from work. That's all I wanted to do, was be out of my body. And I was contemplating suicide. It was a very dark place. And I had the means to do it. And up until that point, I thought I had the will to do it. So I remember just crying myself to sleep. And at some point, I found myself above me, looking down at my body. And you can probably hear Shakespeare. He's upstairs. And I was now looking down at my body. And I didn't realize that I was being held. All I knew is that I was above the ceiling, looking down at myself in bed. And that was the first thing that I remember. I didn't realize that there was an arm around my waist holding me. And when I was finally aware of this presence holding me, it was a woman. And to this day, I've never felt safer, ever. In that moment, I felt safer than I have with the A's, and I trust them implicitly. But it was different. It was just different. Sometimes there's just no words to explain things. And her facial features, I was asked this a long time ago. I think it was JP who asked me about this. Her facial features were very, very similar to that of an actress named Kate Beckinsale. Okay, very, very similar features. Just breathtakingly beautiful. And then I became overwhelmed. I was absolutely overwhelmed with emotion. But it was love, it was joy. And she's holding me and she said, "What do you see?" And she looked down. And I told her, I said, "I see myself." And I explained what I saw. And she said, "Well, do you feel that now?" And I said, "No, I don't feel any of that." And she reminded me that I am not the body. That, I'm not the body. And I asked her why she was here, and she told me my mother sent her. Now, I lost my mom in '64. And my baby sister we all piled into a car to go pick apples. And she was 8.5 weeks pregnant. She was ornery as all hell. She couldn't sit still. She didn't want to sit still. She was uncomfortable. And none of us wanted to go, but she wanted to go she wanted us to go pick apples, because at that point, Mom was supervising. She was very pregnant, and she was absolutely in a supervisory role. So she wanted us to go pick apples, and she just wanted to get out. And on the way there, we were hit by a drunk driver. And I lost my mom and my baby sister that she was carrying. The baby, I understand, lived for 33 minutes. Anyway, everything changed. But that's what she said, that my mother sent me. Which is really interesting. Because it's true that your loved ones keep an eye on you. They have that ability to keep an eye on you. And I'm going to give you this one more time, this story, to go with that. My Uncle Dick moved to Alaska to work on the pipeline, and he was very ill towards the end of his life with tuberculosis. And he was having blackouts, and my Aunt Jean shared this with my sister, this story. And my sister Barry told me this story. He was having these blackouts. Well, on one of the blackouts, he went to a park where he met my Aunt Connie, his older sister, and my mother, who was hiding behind a tree. And he was in this beautiful park, and they were talking about us. And my mom told my Uncle Dick that she hears us when we pray for her or we talk about her. She hears it. And she wanted him to tell us how proud she was of us. Your loved ones are always going to be your loved ones, whether they're here or they're not. They care for you, they watch over you, they protect you. And that's the core of humanity, is that love, it's that caring. That's who we truly are when we're not being so fucked with by these dark lords, the Sith, or Satanists. When you drop all the bullshit, we really love each other. When you drop the ego, we really love each other. And that's it, Shit. I didn't expect that. Well, we're almost out of time, aren't we, James? Or whoever's there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting our little webinar and supporting me over the years, and James and JP and everyone involved with this. You guys are the best. You're the best, and you're the new leadership. You're the founders. You're definitely part of the group to do all this and to help make the change and to guide humanity on a better path, a new course of true benevolence and leadership and self-empowerment. You guys are the best. I love you. thank you for supporting me and the work and helping me pay the bills every month. And believe me, you have no idea it helps. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, and I love you, and I mean that sincerely. And to my kids, wherever you are, Daddy loves you. Dad thinks about you every single day.
If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now is the perfect time. By subscribing, you become part of our ever-growing community of truth seekers, united in our quest for knowledge. Subscribing ensures that you'll never miss a single upload. Hitting the bell icon guarantees that you receive timely notifications every time we upload a new video. Don't let the algorithm keep you in the dark. Stay ahead of the curve and be among the first to hear the latest updates and groundbreaking insights that Alex Collier has to share. We are incredibly grateful for your support, as it allows us to continue creating and sharing knowledge that will expand your horizons. Your likes, subscribes, and bell notifications empower us to spread the truth, to unite in this cosmic journey together. So, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being a part of our community. As always, stay curious, stay open-minded, and most importantly, stay connected. Until next time. If you would like to see Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.